All right, so yesterday morning I got this email from Uphold. Now you guys know I'm an affiliate, so they oftentimes kick out information to us a little bit sooner than when they post it. So what you're getting right now is exclusive. You can see here staking with Uphold 14.8% rewards. Staking is now available for UK customers with EU and the US launches coming soon. Staking is coming back to this market. It's coming back to the United States. And I'm telling you, all of my dreams have just come true. I know a lot of people just got into this space. Okay, so you may not have been around when this happened. So the SEC, routers, don't start. I already have a Jeep. I don't need to see your ads. All right. The SEC came down on Kraken first, and then the other exchanges followed: Coinbase, Uphold, Binance. Anywhere that allowed staking, SEC cut it out, especially here in the United States. Uphold was a defiant player in everything, but even they couldn't block that. When they suspended staking, I was staking Casper on Uphold when this happened, and they just ended it, ended the contract, right? So a lot of people don't understand why, you know, a lot of us longtime holders are excited about this news because we understand the opportunity that staking gives you. Staking serves two very important purposes. One, it ensures the security, the validity, the performance of a crypto network, particularly proof of stake networks. Now, there have been other protocols and ways that non proof of stake networks have been staked before, but that's still a long ways away when you compare the two. Proof of stake networks, when you stake, you're contributing to the security, like I mentioned. But from an investor perspective, it is the easiest way to make money in this market, hands down. If you are used to traditional investing instruments like an ETF or a dividend stock, which is the best thing to compare this to, it's dividend stocks, then staking crypto is probably going to be the best thing for you. That's exactly how I want to position myself in this market going forward. I understood how powerful it was a couple years ago, but I was only in year 2, year 3 of my crypto journey. I hadn't even figured out how to get my money right back then. The money hadn't come in yet, you know? But I understand now, with not having it, right? The importance of staking. But like I said, back in 2023, SEC came in. They said no. Y'all not taking this free route to passive income. Y'all not taking this free route to financial freedom. And to their credit, there were a few platforms that popped up that were just breaking all the rules. All right. So they kind of had to come in. People were putting their funds in different platforms and expecting to hold it there for a given period of time, only for when that time to come, they're not getting their money back. That is another reason why that cryptonomy finance platform just sent me up the wall, because I was seeing the exact same patterns. But that's the history of it, right? I could go all day. Like, I hope you guys understand here. But this week, Kraken. Oh, Kraken. Shout out to you, Jesse, man. Strong player in the space. He's an OG too. Jesse Powell, not the U.S. government guy, the guy that runs Kraken. He's been in crypto for almost since the beginning, quite frankly. Kraken brought back crypto staking for U.S. customers. And in this article, they pretty much go through the same story of what happened in 2023. Amongst the 17 assets that we will be able to stake, it includes Ethereum, Solana, Polkadot, ADA. We looked at the list of staking assets that Kraken has in that Chainlink episode that I posted earlier this week. They got a lot of assets on there that I'm not necessarily into. You guys know what I'm into. Polkadot, though, would be the only reason why I would jump, but I'm not going to do that now, knowing Uphold is going to do the same thing, because when we go over to Uphold, you can see 10.10.5% on Polkadot. I'm taking that. I'm definitely taking that. But with Kraken doing this, it is now more important than ever to get a deeper understanding of staking. And that's what we're going to get into right now, because when it comes to staking, we got a couple options. We have the non-custodial or decentralized route, or the custodial centralized route. Your centralized route or your decentralized route, let's start there, right? We have examples of that in Algorand and their Para wallet. So you can download the Para wallet, which is a wallet built on the Algorand network, non-custodial, not connected to any centralized entities at all, and you can stake your Algorand on there. They have a form of liquid staking, which basically means your staking value is liquid. It can move around through the network. What they actually do is give you a proxy token that represents your holdings, something I hope that changes in the future, because I think that's a flaw. I genuinely think that's a flaw in the system. Why is there a need for a proxy token when you can keep everything liquid by writing into the smart contract the value that goes in to be staked? Now, I ain't no blockchain developer, but I've been around long enough to know and see what can go wrong with these staking arrangements. Another example we got for decentralized staking is, of course, my favorite, the Hashpack, built on the Hedera network, ladies and gentlemen. You can see right there the node operators, the players supporting the staking network for Hedera. Fortune 500, what's that, 500, 1,000? Top tier companies, all right? LG, FIS, YPro, Nomura, all governing council members for the Hedera network. They're supporting that staking ecosystem. So, of course, this is trusted. And again, Hashpack, non-custodial, not connected to any centralized entities. This is as decentralized as it gets. Now, when it comes to centralized options, those would be your Upholds, your Krakens, your Coinbase. But you also got to consider this when you're dealing with a centralized platform, because they have the responsibility of managing billions of dollars. You can find trust in that, especially if the platform has been around for a number of years. Another rule that I have in the crypto space: if your company hasn't been around, if your network hasn't been around for 5 years, I ain't touching it. I'm just not looking your direction, man, because this is just like getting into the restaurant game. First 5 years, don't nobody make no money. You paying all the money back that you got in loans to get the restaurant off the ground. These crypto companies are in the exact same position. Don't overlook that. These are still companies, these are still businesses that have to operate by the business dynamics of the real world. So if your company, if your network, if your crypto ain't been in the game at least 5 years, it won't get covered over here. I'm just telling you that. Also, though, you get a lot more options when you take the centralized route. People like that as well. When I was staking on Uphold, didn't have any problems, didn't have any issues. You do have, when it comes to unstaking or getting back your money, there's a locked up vesting period where, I look at it as it's like when you're waiting on a deposit from a bank. The bank has to do what they're going to do with the money first before they can kick it out back to you. I feel like it's a similar situation behind the scenes where your stake comes out of a pool, a larger pool that the exchange owns for staked assets in particular, and it may take a certain amount of time to move it from that pool because of smart contracts, so forth and so on. Somebody has a key that, you never know, right? Point is, though, with the centralized route, you don't have as much control, but you have more options. And the fact that a centralized entity, a centralized exchange, has the responsibility of managing billions, and they don't want to become the next FTX, there's safety in that. So you're going to need one more thing, though, when you get into the world of staking. I found this trusty little website years ago, man. This is stakingrewards.com. And you can see this is a dashboard that gives you the general staking rates for all the assets that they have listed. I believe they cover about 500 different assets on this website. There's another website called Figment that also gives you a staking calculator that may have a few more assets as well. But what you're getting, like I said, average staking rates for different assets. Top over to the calculator here. See if I can pull it up. Providers. They've changed the interface quite a bit. But you can see here, you can go to either one of these assets. Let's start with Algorand. And then they'll walk you through the process of how to use the calculator. The reason why I want you to see this is that it'll give you, there it is. This is what I'm looking for. See, interface changes. But that's a good sign, though. They making money. Somehow, some way, they making money, and they're able to make improvements. Step 1, choose your asset. We're going with Algorand smart contract staking. That's the brand new staking that went live on Algorand. So stakingrewards.com, pick that up. That's good on them. We get to step 3, where you enter your given amount. Now, I was doing some numbers before I pressed record. Okay, to make a decent amount of money, staking Algorand at its current price of 27 cents, you're going to need at least $100,000. 100,000. Okay. This staking, yes. Let me even put this point out there. Staking is a big man's game. Very much so. But it's one thing that is good for the crypto space because it attracts high net worth clientele. It allows high net worth players to lock their money into the crypto market. So, while it may not on the surface be appealing to you or me right now, we'll get there. Keep hustling. But for a Citigroup, Bank of America, and let's just throw a name out here, AT&T or Comcast, they want to set up a particular division where they invest in some digital assets. Or to that point, investment funds like a BlackRock or an Archax, things like that may want to hold some assets on the side and can afford $100,000. Because you can see off that 100,000 in a year, you're making $5,000 back. This brings us to the conversation of compounding, the compound effect, right? That's the beautiful thing about it. You can see over on this chart, which is rewards over time, shows up after step 3. If you were to just compound your rewards, so let's say after a year you get your 5,000, now you're staking 105,000 in the next year. So your reward rate is now based off of that 5.83% is now based off of 105,000. So let's just put that in 105. Now you're doing 6, right? 6,000 in a year. You take that 6,000, you add it, you're at 111 for the next year. Right? And there seems to be a peak somewhere, but that's an extra $6,000. You take that, that's 117. And you keep on building. Going back to the compound side, you can see over 3 years, when it's non-compounded, you're looking at a return of about $20,000. Just at 117. This is not including the flipping it back into itself, right? But you're looking at a return of about $20,000, non-compounded. With the compounding, you're sitting at about $22,000. That's going through those steps here, taking your 5 from the 100K, taking the first 5 that you get, putting that on top of the 100K. Then the next year, You're staking 5% against 105,000. Then you get another 5K, or another 5,000. The following year, you're staking that 111,000 against 5.83%. Following year, 117,000 at 5.83%. And the story continues. You rinse and repeat. In that formula is the window for guys like you and me who ain't sitting on $100,000 yet, for us to get in with smaller values. Okay? Smaller values. We look at 1,000. We take 1,000. After a year, it's $60. All right. But we're building the stack here. Okay? That's the most important thing with crypto. It's compounding. You keep on flipping it. You keep on flipping it. And then there's so many other factors to consider. I don't know what your individual financial situation might be, but at least having this knowledge shows you how to plan for this. Because with the exchanges kicking out, making these announcements, the only major publication to pick this up so far has been CoinDesk. A pattern has formed. Staking is coming back to the market, and I'm so grateful that it is. Now I want to show you something else here. Let's choose the asset. All right. Interface. I'm telling you. Where's that search button? Move your banner. I'm not going to your event. Discover. This is embarrassing. There it is. Casper Network. I was doing some numbers on this here. Go over to Casper staking. Through Validation Cloud, you're getting 13.71%. What did Uphold say they were doing for Casper? Look, they got Flare too, by the way. 10% for Casper. Let's see if we can get it closer to 10%. Looks like 14 is the closest we're going to get. Native, solo staking. 15% is a Casper validator. Okay, so 13 is the closest we're going to get. That's totally fine. To the point I made earlier about having a smaller stack to start. $1,000 into Casper at the price that it is now, that's $137 in a year. You can then repeat that process. So then 2026, you go in, now you have 1,100. 2027. Let's see what 1,100 does. 1,100, $1.50. So now the following year you're at 13. It's going to continue to keep growing. The conversation of staking also makes you think about the long term in this market. It is obvious this stuff is going to take some time. It's going to take some time for it to reach where we want it to go. For that world of utility to manifest that we all agree is possible. Now that we have regulation coming from the biggest guy in the room in the United States, that will change things for sure. But with that, those frameworks, these new regulations, these new policies, it's going to take about 2-3 years before they even become the norm. I was watching a very interesting podcast. Well, not podcast, documentary on Netflix. It's actually about Bill Gates. Okay? But he talked about a time, early internet days, where internet giants of the day, like him, and can't remember the other guy's name in the moment. Oh, Apple, right? Apple, perfect examples, best examples. In the documentary, they mentioned other guys specifically. But point I'm making here, the internet giants back then went through the same process that the crypto companies of today are going through with regulation. After that is when the internet companies were able to come out with products that were able to reach more people. Because what came with regulation were permission to market these new tools. That's the part that I'm waiting on when it comes to crypto. And to that point, that'll also be the testing. That'll be the culling phase. Post regulation, we're not going to go to CoinMarketCap and see a list of 2 million cryptos anymore. It just will not happen. Because after regulation, when these networks have permission to market what they've built, they're going to hit the ground running with it. And they've already collected all of this money, and they've got funds, and now they got staking, so that's contributing even more. They're going to hit the ground running. So all of these other little meme tokens and these other up and coming projects who are promising to build this and build this and build this, it ain't going to be no more time for y'all. It'll be too late. So I definitely went off on a tangent in this episode, but that's how I want it to be with the members. Y'all know how we are. Again, staking, very important, very powerful. I'll leave a link to this website so that way you can jump on it easy, fish around, get used to their new interface, right? And yeah, with that, guys, y'all know I'm gonna be doing some research. I know the market has definitely taken a turn. All the more reason why this is the best chance to get into this stuff. It's the best chance to research it. We gonna take a few steps down with the market. That's totally fine. Entry points, margins. That's how you need to look at this. Speaking of, I need to take a look at my portfolio and see where we at as far as that goes. Because now, if this market continues to push south and asset prices are below where you entered at during your previous buy, now you're going to make some money. Because it's going to work like this. If you held the assets, you're now getting that asset at a discounted rate. So where you bought Casper ran up to 2 cents roughly during this little rally. You bought in at 2 cents, and let's say you got 1,000 of them at 2 cents, or maybe 10,000 at 2 cents, right? Now Casper's at half of that. So you can get the same 10,000 for 50% off. So what's going to happen when prices go back up? We hit 2 cents again. Casper hits 3 cents maybe. You already bought an extra 10K on top of your other 10K, and you've only spent half of, what you would typically pay in a bull market condition. That's why it pays to buy low, sell high. So I'll leave you with that one. Guys, I want to do a documentary. So if you don't see me posting as consistently, it's because I'm writing away. I'm doing a script. I already have my clips and everything together. Can't wait to sit down and edit. It's going to be fun. I'm doing the history of blockchain games. Yeah, we're going to do something fun, something light. We don't always have to talk about the future of the world and who's going to run it, all that stuff. Let's talk about some fun, blockchain games. Because there's another investment opportunity over there as well. It is. Because after all of this stuff, after the new financial system is locked in place, everything that's going to be built on top of it will now have a chance. And I'm telling you, all you got to do is look at one gaming protocol. You will see how much they want to incorporate stable coins, payments, AI, DePIN, all of it, NFTs, staking. All right, GameFi. Look into GameFi. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I'm done talking now. With that, y'all know what time it is. If that money is digital, so is the hustle.